All right, this is my next day opinion slash breakdown on what happened in the Vasil Devin fight. It was a great fight, man. From start to finish, man. It was action packed, man. It was a great skill show. Uh, you know, I casually watched boxing for a long time, and I'm just now, what I'm saying, starting to get a little bit more into boxing, more so hardcore, semi, try to follow more fighters, you know what I'm saying? And the thing that I would say that's bothering me, I had Devin before the fight. I picked him to win the fight. I picked him to 8-4 Loma. And to me, the scores when I was scoring the fight, I had Devin 7-5. Um, I just don't like. I feel like something that everybody is missing is that Devin Haney just went in there with a guy who was recently a pound for pound number one fighter. I feel like he just went in there with a guy who, on all of them guys in 135, Shakur, Tank, Devin now has a better resume than all of them guys with this Lomachenko win, and people are screaming robbery, and I just feel like I don't see how it's a robbery. Like, did Lomachenko have his moments in a fight? Yes, but there are moments. I feel like if you score in a fight round by round, I personally had Devin up like 6 rounds to 1, and it was a point of time I was talking to my people. We was having a watch party at my crib, and my cousin was like, "What you got it at?" I said, "Man, I got Devin up comfortably about 6-1. I don't see Devin losing this fight without Lomachenko like knocking him out." So I had Devin up like 6 rounds to 1 early. It was a couple close rounds, but I gave him to Devin. I mean, somebody else could have gave a couple of the close rounds to Loma maybe, but I felt like Devin, man, was working Loma to the body. I slowly start seeing Loma hands coming down more and more as the rounds progressed. He was working, he did do some things in spurts. It was a lot of, you know what I'm saying? He'll pity pat with you, and then, he'll try to sneak in some, more effective punching. But the earlier rounds, I felt like Devin had a strong, stiff jab. Devin was turning with him. Whenever it got physical in the clinch or whatever, I felt like the ref was good at trying to keep it a clean fight. I felt like, Devin body work went unnoticed. I get the hunting looks good. That's what people want to see, but it's different ways to, I feel like, to, you know what I'm saying, the effective punching, what he was doing. I felt like Loma was a bit frustrated earlier in the fight. Everybody has their opinion, like, because Loma, he came out fast the first round, and and I'm like, okay, because Loma, he usually starts slow and he picks things up, which he did, because he came out fast the first round. I'm like, okay, this is a different fight, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm used to seeing Loma fight. He usually, what I'm saying, try to get guys out late. But after the first round, which was a close round, and it could have went either way, I felt like Devin Haney, like, to me, clearly won the better part of the first half of the fight, man. And that's me just honestly not even being biased. I felt like it was around 8, could have went either way. Um, and then when it got to like 9, Loma clearly won 10 and 11 for me. And the 9 it could have went Devin Loma. But I'm just like, and then on top of it, this is another thing. I feel like whether it was fatigue, Loma hurt him, I feel like, Loma was doing what he wanted to in round 10 and 11. Devin was on the ropes, and I was like, man, if he keep on like this, Loma could actually drop Devin or stop Devin. So I'm like, oh, that's when the fight, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, we got a fight on our hands for real, you know. And what I don't understand is why Loma didn't finish strong in round 12. I feel like even if Loma would have won round 12, I don't think he would have had enough to win a fight. In my personal opinion, I feel like he still wouldn't have won it. But I feel like Devin clearly won round 12. So when you go back to what I said, I felt like Devin picked up six of the first seven earlier rounds, and Loma kind of, did his thing, 8, 9, 10, 11, you know what I'm saying? I just I don't know. I don't see where it's a robbery yet. I get people has opinions, and I think what a lot of fans is going by is Lomachenko had the biggest, like, or the most exciting, I guess you would say, part or exchange in the fight, which was rounds 11 and 10, where he was putting together combinations and touching Devin. And some of the flurries he was missing, but he was catching them. And Devin, he was looking, what I'm saying, out of it at points, but he was still, what I'm saying, moving around, trying to turn, get out of there. But it was clearly Loma rounds. I scored 11 and 10 clearly for Lomachenko. And then, like I said, I gave him a round earlier in the fight, and maybe I forgot which one. I think I gave him either 9 or 8. I forget which one it was. But even still, so in those rounds, you know, Haney was still working. Haney was still moving, but it was clearly Loma rounds. And in the other rounds that I gave Haney, Loma, he would land a few shots here and there. He would do a Fury touch Devin arms, touch blase, and go in. But I feel like Devin still won that fight cleanly, in my opinion. It was just close, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's more a victory by Devin. This man is 24 years old. He's challenges himself, and I feel like it's like, damn, the world is saying that this man lost, and I don't see where the robbery is. I just don't see it, and I get everybody does not sit down and get them a scorecard and okay score each round. I get that, and I think what people is doing is they got what happened in rounds 10 and 11 left stuck in their mind, and they like, okay, Loma was giving it to Devin 10 and 11, but that's not how a fight is scored, man. And it's props to both fighters from me, man. I just kind of, like I say, I get where people saying for Loma, they saying they feel bad for Loma. They feel like he was raw. He should have. I'm not with that, but I just don't see it, man. Like I say, I don't know. I personally haven't rewatched the fight yet, but I didn't like the commentary either. I'll tell you why. Because somebody's gonna say, "Oh well, you're a Devin Haney fan. You had Devin Haney off the rip, so you're gonna say that." It's not that, man. It's like I'm watching the fight. Lomachenko, he'll land a jab, he'll land a jab, and then another one, and you got guys like Tim Bradley. Oh my God, it's 3 straight jabs to Haney, and da da da. But Haney also within the same round, he's turning, he's hooking to the body, and he's visibly hurting Lomachenko to the body. Lomachenko started in a high guard. By 7, 8 in the rounds, Lomachenko hands was down here, and he had to change his game plan up, which I give him credit for because Lomachenko made adjustments. And what you seen rounds 10 and 11, when Lomachenko turned it up, Devin Haney kind of stayed the same and just did what he did, you know. And like I say, I don't know, man. I just feel like, and then you got guys like Shakur. I respect Shakur. I think he's an excellent boxer, man. But to say Lomachenko clearly won, I don't see it, man, because he talks about effective punching, like I say, people ask. Devin Haney had a clear game plan. I'll just put it like this. Devin wanted to assert himself in this fight. He wanted to go to the body. That was clear. I never seen Devin Haney like clear. Like it was points and times where I was screaming for Haney in the later rounds to start using his jab more to keep Lomachenko at bay because he was so invested into the body early. That's why I say he racked up so many points to me and in rounds to me early. I felt like Lomachenko had needed a knockout, like I say early. Um, in the fight, Devin. I just don't see it, man. Like I say, and I just feel like it's a shame, man, because everybody's now pushing this robbery shit, and they're now Lomachenko and Bob Arum. They want to contest. I'm like, man, this young man did what he had to do to win. You know, I get it's go always be controversy. If you don't knock a motherfucker out, I get it. Some may say, oh, such and such win. Some may say this guy win. But it was a close fight. I'm not going out here and saying Devin Haney watched Loma and Devin Haney won 10 out of 12 rounds. No, I feel like Devin Haney won a solid 7 rounds. And that's at least if when I go back and watch this fight, it may be a couple rounds that or a round or two that I may have gave Loma that I may push back Devin Wade. You know what I'm saying? 7-5, I feel like it was no worse than 7-5 Devin Wade, man. I just don't see how you can watch each one of these fight rounds and give Loma. I don't see where you can give Loma more than 5 rounds at, man. Because what people gotta understand, man, it's not moments in these 3-minute rounds. Loma come out with a flurry for 10, 20 seconds. And he may touch Devin and you know what I'm saying? And Loma gets the round and it negates everything that Devin did in the round. It negates, you know what I'm saying, Devin controlling the distance. It negates Devin going to the body. It negates him sticking him to the body. It negates his short right counters. It negates all of these things. And like I said, I don't get it, man. And like I say, back on the commentary thing, like I get people talk about an agenda with Devin. I'm seeing comments and shit and all that. Like Tim Bradley, I don't know what it is with. I don't like his commentating because my thing is it's just like the whole situation with the crowd. The crowd was pro Loma, so any and everything Loma does, the crowd is gonna react. But you as a professional, as a boxer, man, you gotta know better than that. When you commentating and Loma hits Devin with 3 straight jabs. Oh my God, and you going crazy. But Devin drops his hip and rips Loma to the body. I don't hear nothing. I hear, oh my God, Loma is just, and it's just like it may even seem like I'm coming off as a hater to Loma. I don't even care. I like Loma. Like I say, Loma showed something in that fight to me, and I got respect for Loma after that fight, man. But the way people trying to play Haney is crazy to me, man. I don't see it, man. Like who wins out of Haney, Shakur, and Tank? I don't know. It's a great fight. I want to see it. But to say, oh, Haney gets washed by Shakur and Tank, it was a fucking 50-50 fight. People was asking me who I thought was going. I said, I don't know. I said, I got Haney, man. I think Haney might ache for him, but it's gonna be a tough ass fight. And I was saying that all week leading up to the fight. Like, man, I don't know, cause I know what Vasil is. You know what I'm saying? Vasil is a very technical fighter, man. He come with angles, weird angles. Sometimes you know what I'm saying. He punches off his toes. Sometimes, man. He as you seen in this fight with Devin, he was real aggressive. You know what I'm saying. He was pressing forward. He was trying to wrestle with Devin. I felt like early in the rounds. You know what I'm saying. Loma was getting. You know what I'm saying. He was getting kind of frustrated. Me personally, you know what I'm saying, and he switched it up, turned it up, later in the fight, and made adjustments. But like I say, we can't downplay, man, what Devin just did, man, and call it a robbery at that, man. That young man did something that I think a lot of these other guys wouldn't do. They claim they would do it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't see Tank in there, you know what I'm saying, fighting Loma. I ain't even see Shakur in there fighting Loma. Shakur been in top rank shit longer than Devin have. So to and I get that his weight classes, Shakur was at 30 and then he moved up. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying like, you know, Lomachenko is bigger than any of them other guys that they fought, and you know what I'm saying. When we doing comparison and to you know they last opponent, Yoshino and Ryan Garcia, if we being honest, doesn't compare to Loma at all. And I believe in their hearts, Tank and Shakur know that. So I didn't agree with what Shakur said at all. I mean, sitting ringside, I'm quite sure Shakur didn't have what I'm saying, a pen and a pad either. But I mean, as a fighter who actually gets in there, I mean, I feel like Shakur should know better than that. Like I feel like he kind of got caught up at the end and more so how the fight finished than the totality of the fight. And like I said, it can be easy for you to forget about everything that happened, you know what I'm saying, in those moments. That's why like I think a lot of people don't understand, especially more so the casuals too. Like it's guys that get knocked down in the fight multiple times, sometimes they still come back to win because it's what happened in those rounds. You know what I'm saying? If you get knocked out and you fall down on the scorecard 10-8, but you dominate the rest of the fight, just because you had the best moment and you knock somebody down, don't mean you automatically won. And I just said it to say I feel like people is just is stuck on the work Loma did late. Yes, he did the work late, but if it's any knock on Loma, why didn't you finish the 12th round like that? It would have, to me, if he would have finished the 12th round like that, it would have been a draw to me. You know what I'm saying? But Loma like clearly lost the 12th round. Like I say, and he clearly won 11s and 10. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, it's toss ups and I get swing rounds. And like I say all this to say, I'm more so like, man, damn, like I feel like it was a great night of boxing. It was competitive. This was probably one of the best fights I've seen, man. Shit, I can't even think of the last fight I watched, man, that was this good. But maybe Sean Porter, uh, Errol Spence, because that was a great fight too, and I feel like this was one of them type of fights, man. And you even have it in that fight, a lot of people feel like Sean Porter won, but I'm just like, man, but I ain't gonna get into all that. It's just like man, bottom line, it was a close fight, man. It was a close fight. Both of them guys was in shape. Both of them guys, they came out. You seen Devin Haney, he tried to stick to his game plan most of the fight. You know what I'm saying? I would like Bill Haney to have a little bit more, because I was a part of the fight. Devin was asking Bill kind of like, telling him like, hey, he's starting to do this now towards the later rounds. He's not moving, the way that we thought he was. And I would like them to tighten that up a little bit, but it's experience, man. It's all experience. You get in there with a fighter like Vasil Lomachenko, man, who, you just had a tough fight like that at a high level. What that tells me personally, is Devinchenko is ready. I'm Devinchenko. Devin Haney is ready for these top guys, because what you got to understand is styles make fights, okay? So, everybody's like, oh, if Lomachenko could have success like this, what is Devin gonna do with Tank and his power if he's getting hit with those strikes? Yes, I do believe Devin got to get back in the gym and work on some things. That is true. But styles make fights, and just because Devin Haney fought this way this fight doesn't mean he'll fight that way against a Tank or a Shakur. And we don't even know the outcomes that would have this Lomachenko, if he would have fought Tank or Shakur. We don't know what would have happened in those fights, because they never fought someone of that caliber. So that's why I say I gotta respect Devin Haney. And like I say, it's not even me just being me picking Devin Haney and trying to cape for dude. Like it's some flaws he got to work on, of course, that comes with it. But I feel like he did more than enough to win this fight cleanly. And I just don't like how they disrespected him, man. He's a young man, 24, and I get people, oh, he pushed him and he did this. I mean, it's boxing at the end of it. The men in there trying to hurt each other. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, it was on some emotional shit. He pushed him. So what? The push does not dictate or change what the fuck happened in the fight. And now, if you can, honestly, if you can sit there for 45 plus minutes and go back or however long that the live fight is, or the full fight highlights is, and you can watch that fight, and you can sit down with a scorecard and you can score each one of them rounds unbiasedly, and you can tell me that you seen Vasil Lomachenko win 7 rounds in that fight, I'd be amazed. Honestly, I didn't see it, man. Like I said, I didn't have a scorecard, but I was scoring them each round by one, and I was keeping track. And I just remember telling, like I say, my cousin, I was like, shit, I got Devin already like 6 rounds to 1 right now, man. I said, I don't see it. And like I said, I did get a little nervous for Devin in the later rounds because I seen him slowing down. I don't know if he was just tiring or if he was hurt. Lomachenko definitely was popping in with some nice shots. That straight left was coming. It was landing at will basically in those later rounds. But even still, so with all of that, you know what I'm saying? I didn't see it. Now, a lot of people was calling I believe it was 116, 112. They was calling, yeah, I seen that. But even I don't agree with what he had Devin winning the 10th round. That was some bullshit. But I can see where Devin could have ate Fort Loma. That's not out the realm of possibility. Like I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna watch the fight again. I'm pretty sure the way I had it's probably gonna be that way, and especially without commentary, because I'm watching the fight. I'm like, man, this fucking commentary is ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It was very very favored towards Loma, and it's like I say, if you don't know no better, you could fall into that trap of believing. You know what I'm saying? What you hearing? You know what I'm saying? With these commentators and shit. So like I say, man, that's about all, man. I just want to give my opinion on it, man, and I just wish that it was a bit different for Devin, man, because this is his biggest fight to date, man, and I feel like he did what he was supposed to do. I feel like he trained hard. I feel like the outcome may not has been as clean as he wanted it to, but when you get to these championship level fights, man, when it's 50-50 and you really don't know who can win, because like even like Spence Crawford, both of these guys is man, you can pick out the attributes for each one, and they both stack up, and it's like to the point where like shit, I don't know, man. And that's what this fight was, man. It was a great night of boxing, man. It was technical, both of them guys landed, and I guarantee you, like I said, people talking about Haney did nothing. Well, I won't say people. It's just guys in these comments is crazy. Like I just don't. I don't know. I feel like it's like some real BS, man. When you feel like you can say that Devin lost 10 rounds out of this fight, like you got people really typing that Lomachenko 10-2. Like that's crazy. That is crazy. If Lomachenko would have won this fight 10-2 down, that's a robbery. You feel what I'm saying? Like I just feel like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I just don't see what people were seeing, and like I say, a lot of the celebs and the superstar, the guys that actually fought, like I say, I don't know if it was just in the moment. Like I say, I don't know if it was just um like I say, because Lomachenko strong 9th, 10th, 11th round, and that's just the last thing they can remember. But to say that Devin lost easy, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I just look forward to what he got next, man. What I personally would like to see from Devin. Me personally, if I'm being honest, I would like to see Devin step to Shakur and fight Shakur next. I've been a big advocate of him going and fighting Tank. I just feel like right now Tank and them has kind of made it clear the Devin really ain't on their radar. They don't really show too much interest in fighting them. And I'm one of the guys who want Devin to actually move up to 140. But I feel like you got a guy like Shakur Stevenson pressing the issue, the action. That's just my mental. I'm like, man, look, We over here, even though Devin was on his last fight, hey, I talked to Bob. Hey, Bob, you feel like Lomachenko won? You feel like I didn't win? I don't deserve it. Put me in there with Shakur. I feel like Devin need to have that mentality. Fuck it, I'm gonna fight Shakur. I'm gonna beat Shakur. And if Tank want to fight, I mean, after that we fight Tank. If not, we move up. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, if it don't make sense with Shakur, if the money not there, they're not trying to pay, then just move up and say fuck it, man. Use your belts, go up to 140 and challenge them guys, because a lot of people is like, oh, he wouldn't last up there with them hitters up there. But I mean, we never know, man. You got to think this weight cut, and people saying like it's only 5 pounds. I never cut weight. I'm a big dude, but like just listening to these guys, and over the years, listening to how important and how much even 1 pound means. 5 pounds, I think, take Haney a long way, man. Even him fading late, I feel like was partially to do with the cut. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he get them extra 5 pounds, rehydrate even bigger. You know, come in stronger. I feel like I don't think he just go in there and knocking niggas out, but I feel like he does a lot better, and you may see a little bit more sting in the pop, because like the thing with Devin is he has respectable power, but it's times where Devin, he hurts guys, but he don't sit down on his punches. Like when he was fighting Kambosos, it was the second fight. Devin was hitting Kambosos with some shit, and if he was turning them punches over and sitting down on them bitches, I don't think he would have knocked Kambosos out, but I feel like he would have dropped him at least. It was a couple where he was hitting him with hooks and Kambosos staggering back, and I'm just feeling like if he had that mentality, like I'm gonna put more into this shot. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you see Tank do. Tank will survey you for rounds, and he'll wait and he'll try to counter you, and he don't have a heavy output of punches. That's why a lot of people say Tank kind of gets down on the scorecards earlier too, but he had us the equalizer. I just feel like if Devin Haney kind of did that, man, he would to be able to hurt these guys a little bit more. And like I say, I feel like he hurt Lomachenko last night a couple times to the body. Lomachenko played it well and he had a good poker face, but Lomachenko was definitely hurt. He was digging into that body, definitely. And did Lomachenko hurt Devin? Yeah, I feel like Devin was hurt, but he was still had his senses. He was still moving. He was still slipping. He was still dodging punches. He was getting touched, yes. But it's a fight. That's what happens, man. So that's it, man. Like I say, that's just my reaction the next day to it, man. I'm waking up. I'm seeing people, who saying they got Devin. I'm seeing people who saying they got Loma. And I don't have a problem with people saying they felt Loma won. That's not my issue. My issue is just people saying that it's a robbery. That's crazy. It was a close fight. How could it be a robbery? This man is the champion. He retained his belt and he won. Like I say, on two cards, I believe I think it was 7-5 on two of the cards, and 8-4 on one. But I mean, like that's pretty much on par with what I had, man. And like I say, it's a few rounds in between where, like I say, you could say maybe he won it or he won it, but I mean, like I said, I don't know. But like I said, I get back to it, man. That's it.